guys, I'm sorry. Alright, we're just going to have to live with this for now. And deal with the fact that this is not going to be brilliantly set up. So let me just hide some stuff so you guys can just see easily. We'll get the logos and stuff back on after this game. Obviously, apologies. Not exactly ideal. As we starting up into this game, to the top right hand side, it's going to be our red Zerg player. It is Elazer. And he's going up against the blue Terran player to the bottom left. It is going to be Bunny. So again, guys, sorry for this. I just didn't have it. Just didn't realize I was going to have to set the interface on the EU again. Or I would have known. I just didn't think about it at all. So I do apologize. And as we jump on in and get ready to go. What was the song? I think it was the Drum Sound and Bassline Smith remix of Utah Saints. If you type in something like that, I'm sure you'll find it nice and easily. Again, sorry, I don't have the bot up, so you can't check the music today. I don't have, just nothing's going right at the moment, so. So yeah, there's only so much I can do. Elazer is going to go for a very aggressive opening here. The Roach-Rowan coming down early and double gas is set up. It's time for him to turn his aggression on with a fast Roach attack. First Roach is on the way in production. So setting up into this, and well, the Roach is on the way then. Now do you see this Overlord heading down to the south side of the map? So Overlord coming down to the south. Elazer here continue to move into position to see what is up. As well, Bunny has a Reaper moving onto the map as well to see what else is going on. Now this is going to be a best of 3, guys. This match is best of 3. The match after this will be best of 5 once again. It's just the matches that qualify you to Katowice that are best of 5 today. As we're going to be seeing this Reaper continue to move around, so Bunny pulling back down to the bottom left-hand side. As these first few Ravages and Roaches continue to come across the map, and obviously, well, let's see what they're going to get up to. As Bunny, what did he see? He took the Watchtower, and I guess he saw maybe a Roach or something to pull back. Either way, he's well, maybe not, because he actually hasn't built anything yet, so maybe he was just being safe. It means he's not going to see what's coming, so he's going to be completely blind to this. And as moving forwards, Elazer's going to have a lot of units. The Reaper goes down instantly, and honestly, there's no units left already. There's literally nothing. And as we're going to be seeing these Ravagers dropping a couple of corrosive bars down, and I'm going to keep on pushing up this ramp and, well, working their way through. This supply depot taking a little bit of damage here as well. Some more corrosive bars coming on in right here. And as we're going to be seeing the SCV getting picked off. I mean, this is just going to be access to the main base already. As he accesses the main base, then, you know, he's going to shut down this reactor too. Yeah, he's going to have a great time. Cyclone on the way up. SCVs here are going to start doing a lot of damage. More corrosive bars will help to get rid of this reactor. This is really, really kind of scary for Bunny to deal with right now. Here comes the Cyclone. Pops out right next to these Ravagers, actually. As we do see a turn, starting to fight. SCV's pulling down the low ground. One Ravager low on health is pulling to the back, which is really nice. Turns to fight with these Ravagers again. Cyclone goes down. With that going down, Elazer will take a nice quick game number 1 of this best of 3. We'll start to the bottom right hand side of the map. We can turn all of our logos back on now. There we go. To the bottom right hand side is the red Zerg player. It is Elazer up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. Just make sure I don't type anything there, as we have down to the bottom left hand side the blue Terran player. Let's see if you can hold off once again. It's going to be Bunny. And blue Terran to the bottom left. Alright. Also, I mean, what I have to say as well is you guys have been so crazy on subs recently. The fact we're kind of coming up towards 200 subs once again, after we've kind of passed the kind of Christmas surge that we had and so on, is really, is really crazy. Like, so thank you so much to everyone who has been subscribing. We're approaching 200 subs once more, which is really awesome. And yeah, I mean, it's awesome. You guys again continue to help me to just cast all the StarCrafts, basically. You guys power me up, I'll cast the games. How about that? Good deal? Good trade? Awesome. Alright, so as we see an Overlord moving over to the left hand side of the map. We've seen a Reaper starting to come on up here from Bunny, and well, just going to be seeing the SCV going to come down and get ready to start building the command center. So It's going to be seeing a very standard opening from both this time around, especially compared to the last game. This is much more standard, much more kind of the way you expect things to, much more kind of like the way you expect things to go, I suppose, here early on. So, set up into this. He's going to be seeing the Reaper moving across the right-hand side. So just got some news, by the way. So people are asking about who will replace certain players in the qualifiers if they've, if they've qualified out of one qualifier and they're actually ready to play in another qualifier. So in the America Stage 2 qualifier, Zest and Stats are going to be looking to replace Solar and Neeb. So I mean, just some okay replacements. Some okay replacements. We're going to be seeing this Marine here doing a little bit of damage, and Overlord is just going to be pushed away, so units are being pushed off to the side now as it's going to be seeing this metabolic boost is coming up to be about halfway done. Hatchery is building here on the third base as well from Elazer, so again, very standard stuff early on. We're just going to be seeing Bunny with the factory finishing up, and we're going towards his next stage of the game here in the next couple of moments, which is going to be Hellion focus, starport on the way too, and this barracks going to land next to the starport, looking to be a tech lab and probably something along the lines of a Cloak Banshee, I would imagine. No other reason to kind of land the barracks in this sort of position with the starport, unless you want to kind of mind game your opponent a little bit, I guess, with the scouting. But it's not really something that we usually see. I mean, the scouting is going to come in so much later, at such a time anyways, where he'll see if the starport is on the barracks or not and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just going to be setting up into this. The starport finishes, barracks swaps over, and the starport will tech lab up. Let's see what this is going to be. Obviously double gas is down, so you can't afford the cloak. It's going to be a medevac and cloak, interesting. So medevac first, a bit of a Hellion drop, but then potentially a Banshee afterwards. Maybe the cloak isn't a fake, as maybe it's not as much as maybe it's not a fake as much as it is just a a way to kind of build this, kind of go into this build, because now it means that when this first Banshee arrives across the map, it will have cloak. So that'll be interesting. And when I say first Banshee, I mean the one that we might expect to see after the medevac being produced. A few more Zerglings on the way, Rotron dropping down as well, as Elazer just looks to be very safey in the early stages. Does not want to die to early aggression for no reason at all. It's just making sure he just going to be making sure to see what else is going on. We're going to see these few Hellions gathering to the south side then, and medevac will lift these Hellions up and will drop towards the main base in the next couple of moments. There is the Banshee coming up, so it's not just a fake on the cloak. As you're going to see, Zerglings already in position. Hellions will again try and look to find a way out here, but realistically these units are very well placed from Elazer. He's not just going to let this medevac wander in towards his base with nothing to say about it. We'll follow up with an armory, so it's going to be a Hellbat based follow-up, and that's where these roaches are going to come into place. Those Zerglings are good to defend early. Against Hellbats, well, roaches do a much better job. Roaches are banes, and you need one of them realistically, otherwise it costs you a lot to be able to defend, and that is of course not what you're aiming for. You're looking to defend as easily and cheaply as possible to then move on into your next stages of the game. A few more Queens just on the way down, gathering outside the front of the third base here already. Hellbat's starting to morph in, and you see this Banshee still overhead from Bunny, going to get ready to attack in the next couple of moments. So Bunny's starting to move on forward. We see Hellbat's in the main base as well, as Zergling's going to be sent to deal with these. I mean, they'll be somewhat effective, as Roaches at the front will definitely be more than enough here. Cloak on the Banshee, allowed to pull back, and will chase down this Queen. Is it worth it just going towards the mineral line? Maybe. You know, if he goes towards the mineral line here, then he could actually pick off some drones before the Spore Crawler finishes, which would be nice, and I think it's the best choice now. I think killing the Queen is okay, because obviously it's low on health, it only takes a couple of shots. Meanwhile, the Hellbats in the main did do some damage as well, so 6 workers killed so far. Is he actually going to go for another low health Queen here? And there's his medevac in the main just getting away. He does get shot down by another Queen, however. As, well, Banshee, as the Spore Crawler finishes, just going to sit around the bases and continue to be annoyed until an Overseer comes up here. Queen moving forward. Actually, Banshee about to run out of energy, so goodbye, Banshee. It's nice knowing you, buddy, but unfortunately that's all we're going to know you for. Just taking time, but still good damage here early on. As we're going to be seeing the Hellions continue to be produced, and he goes into mech play. So continue to set up into mech here, guys, as we continue to build. And these Hellions and Hellbats just join up together. SCVs will get to repairing those, and Bunny will continue to build another Banshee. I mean, the extra Banshee will help out a lot in terms of safety, although he could send it across the map and get something a little bit extra done here if he would like to. So that's a possibility as well right now. As we do see just a couple of queens set up, and I'm going to see what they can do. There's a couple of queens joined together on the third base. Fourth hatchery comes on down as well right here, and it's going to be seeing the infestation pit about halfway done. A couple of Evo chambers coming into play as well. Viking picking off an overlord at the front, and again, going to be an interesting game. This mech-based playstyle. Well, I mean, what does Elazer want to head towards? Well, most likely a Viper-based tech. Going towards the Vipers, get the blinding clouds up, the abduct as well. That efficient composition is what he's going to be aiming towards here, as we see a scan revealing some creep tumors. He's able to clean up one of those already. Actually, he doesn't get the second one, so he actually doesn't kill off any of the creep tumors he scans. He just sets up a few Hellions over here, leaves them behind. He's going to be seeing this Banshee coming in towards the fourth base. Going to do some damage. We'll pull away from the Queens now. Transfuser's being dropped to make sure the Queens are full of health and not going to be taken down too quickly, as see the Banshee falling here. A bit of a mistake by Bunny. As he see from Elazer, actually the Swarm Hosts on the way up. Well, that's something which I'm not surprised by, honestly. I mean, Swarm Hosts are becoming the answer to mech as of late as well. It was all about the Vipers earlier on in patch 3.8, but nowadays the Swarm Hosts really have been kind of the more loved answer here. Sorry, a little bit of FPS drops there. Looks as though we're recovering though, as there's going to be seeing units gathering towards the front. And well, how will he deal with the Swarm Host, Bunny? You know, what's his answer to this going to be? He's gone for a very standard mech composition, you know, Hellbat tank. He hasn't really gone for like the, you know, what we haven't seen here from Bunny is that, you know, the Cyclone play, the Hellbat Cyclone, which we see a lot of, honestly, nowadays. So, no Cyclones, just straight up tanks and Hellbats, and will that be enough to take down the Locust and to push on through to take game 2? Obviously, his qualifier life on the line right now. If he loses out in this one, I believe he isn't qualified for NA, so I think he'd have to go through the qualifier tomorrow on the Korean server. I mean, we know how stacked those qualifiers are, don't we? We know how so very stacked those are. And as we see these Hellions from Bunny join up together, Swarm Host will drop off some Locusts, and they'll begin to move on forwards here, and look to see what's going on. I honestly feel as though these Hellbats are going to be enough to get rid of the Swarm Host very quickly. Doesn't lose a single unit. And now Elazer is stuck in a bunch of Roaches, which are not really looking to do anything at all. So pushing forwards here, Bunny looking to get some damage done. Roaches, Hydras coming forwards themselves, and well, here we go, starting to turn around, starting to fight this. These Roaches taking a lot of damage. I mean, look at this, Bunny doesn't even siege up yet. So slowly start to siege his tanks up, going to start leapfrogging them forwards. And there's the Hellbats in the front, taking a little bit of damage. He needs to be a little bit cautious with them. Again, just going to leapfrog these tanks forwards, make sure that he's got enough siege at a time to really make this push very powerful. As we see more Roaches coming in, a couple more Hydralisks as well. And this attack from Bunny will continue to set on up. A few tanks to the high ground. Here we go. Locust will spawn on out, and here we go. Locust is going to come in with the rest of this army. Going to go towards the siege tanks here for the Locust, and obviously that means not only friendly fire, but the Locust can get rid of some tanks here quickly. And it's a good engagement from Elazer. Instead of dropping into everything at the same time, dropping into this the way he did really works out nicely for him. Vikings will land to try and help Bunny out, but Elazer is cleaning on up. He's going to push this back, and now he's going to be in a great position to advance through to the qualifying round here today. As you see another tank getting cleaned up, and we're just going to be seeing these Roaches and Hydras continue to move through the center. And in that qualifying round, we will see Cyril be his opponent, of course, because he has taken down Nurture 2-0 in the previous round, in sort of the same stage as what we're in now with this match. So, the winner of this plays Cyril for IEM Katowice. It's been a while since we've really seen Cyril qualify to anything kind of too major, I would say. He's always been a good player, he's always been very kind of powerful, but I haven't seen him come through a qualifier for, like this for a long time, along the likes of Snoot and all the rest as well, you know. So Cyril having a good run so far today. We'll see how it will continue, as he'll, at this point, look to be going into a ZvT once again, which he's been doing very well in today. That said, I mean, this could turn around. It's mech. You never know what happens with mech sometimes. I think there is going to be enough for Elazer to break. He's just going to wait for the wave of Swarm Hosts. If these Locusts dropping down, these tanks will very quickly fall. And as those tanks go down, that will really just open up this position. As you can see, they're going to unsiege right away here. I mean, the Roaches and Hydras can continue to push on in. And, well, the tanks will actually want to siege up again now, as, well, maybe the Roaches and Hydras will just trade with the Hellbats and then pull away. It's a difficult one. You don't really want to overcommit into this position. I mean, behind all of this, Elazer continue to tech on up, Aspire on the way down, and while he has a Hive, I think, yeah, Broodlord's a possibility. What he could also go for is just a straight up kind of Mutilator switch. I mean, there's a few Vikings in the sky, but a bunch of Mutilars would kind of just shred those, no problem. He doesn't have enough gas for that just yet, instead opting to build a few more swarm hosts. It's still Elazer on the front lines, on the aggressive side of things here, and as he sets on up to see what else he can get up to. Locust will spawn and he'll start to fly on forwards as he'll look to just pick off a little bit more once again. Try and get a bit more damage done. Fourth base setting up from Bunny to the top side, so he is establishing a fourth. He is looking to, well, get towards maxing out, so I mean, this is what I was saying, like, the game isn't over just yet. Elazer took a good fight previously and he will take advantages, for example, maxing out so much sooner, meaning he will be the player to start building the bank. But Mech Army is still powerful. He's got Vikings up already, which will help a lot against the incoming Vipers. And he's going to have more Vikings built and to help against what is going to be the eventual Broodlords as well here, so it's a reasonably good setup, honestly, from Bunny. I was going to be seeing Roaches, Hydras gathering together. These Swarmers down to the south side, going to move forwards as well. They're the Locust, going to be popping on up here and going to be starting to move forwards once again. Going to start dropping on down. Refinery is going to go down almost instantly as the SCV is going down also. And then a couple more depots getting picked off, and that is again another huge chunk of damage done. As Bunny will unsiege though, and maybe going to take this as an opportunity to move forwards onto the map after cleaning out this wave of Locusts. He's moving down here at least, so well, here we go. Bunny getting ready to be aggressive again. I mean, he's maxing out, right? So he doesn't have much else to wait for any longer. As we see that Elazer's army is down to the south. Elazer's army is kind of weak right now. The Hellbats will get through these Hydras very quickly. There's a couple of tanks sieging in the back. Bunny will want to unsiege those now and pull them forwards with the rest. And they're all getting shot down by the Vikings, and a slight supply block, which will maybe hurt him if he comes down to a remax here. As we're going to see the Locust dropping nice Blinding Cloud as well. All of the tanks caught in a Blinding Cloud. Well, that is going to be very, very detrimental, as these Locusts are going to destroy down to the south side, and this maxed out army of Bunny just disappears. And obviously it takes so long and so much money to rebuild a mech army like that. That is going to be a costly loss, as Elazer is going to be pushing through once again, deflecting this army, and still looking very good in this game, number 2. Looking very good indeed, as we have a fifth base coming down from Elazer in the center. So fifth base will come on down here, and so we're seeing a few more tanks sieging up, a few more Hellbats as well coming into play. And we're seeing the Corruptors start continuing to build on up from Elazer too. So we need to build up some more Corruptors as we see Roaches and Hydras pushing forwards. We're going to see these Locusts continue to push on through as well, and let's see what else is going on. I mean, just going to clean up these extra tanks to the top side. Elazer losing quite a bit here, actually. Maybe getting a little bit over aggressive, but again, he's got money in the bank. He rebuilds 20 Roaches, a few Corruptors. I mean, getting into Broodlords right now is pretty deadly in and of itself, so setting up towards that. As you do see these few Hydras looking around themselves to see what maybe they can do in these next couple of moments. The Locust moves forward, drops down. SCVs will begin to fall once again in this, as we're going to be seeing a little bit more damage being done. Refinery gets picked off. A Hellbat to the left side, taking a lot of damage too. Another couple of depots will fall. So another couple of depots going down here, as we're going to be seeing this tank line still holding steady at the front. As we're going to be seeing, again, Locusts, Roaches, and Hydras again set to go. Move forwards in the next few moments. Again, small creep coming on into play, and so these few Corruptors up to the north side going to move forwards, and they're going to get a couple of Liberators here right away. Vikings are not in position, so getting rid of these just makes life a bit easy for him in terms of pushing in with everything else. And here we go, Cyclone in the mix now as well, as we see, well, again, the Locusts are going to come on towards the siege tanks, and it just means they can pick off those siege tanks so quickly. Corruptors continue to fight the Vikings as this army to the south side. Again, I mean, will be held off, but it's still the fact he's just trading out nice. He's trading out as he wishes to do so. And as we're going to be seeing, well, Broods continue to come in against the Broodlords. That really, more than anything, going to help to continue pushing this army back, because there's just nothing really to stop the Broodlords. I mean, yeah, there's a Viking up, but when there's so many Corruptors in comparison to one Viking, it doesn't quite make the difference here. A couple of fours will actually maybe make a difference, especially considering that for now there is only one Broodlord. I mean, to be fair overall as well, when these Locusts are on cooldown, there isn't really that much left over apart from these Swarm Hosts to kind of do damage with, so maybe, I mean, there's maybe still chances here from Bunny. It's not going to be easy though, as well, a couple of tanks already sieged and doing some damage. The Locust is going to expire in a moment or so, so they're not going to be able to actually do much at all. Helps to pick off one Hellbat, but that's about it. As now we'll see the counter-attack forwards from Bunny pushing back forwards into this now as Vikings picking off one more from him, Broodlord. Here come the fours, and again they will make the difference against these Broods. Because right now there's no other anti-air, as all these Broodlords are getting cancelled out. So actually, it's going quite well. More Broodlords building back over to the side, more Vikings building too. Tanks will siege here once more, and well, Elazer has still not found a way to close this out as you can see the Locust getting ready to go once again. Vikings will lead the charge as it picks off, well, very nearly picks off one Broodlord, but Transfuse will be good to keep it alive. Locust landing on top of the Hellbat in the front, which means that actually they're not going to do so much damage onto the tanks here. And this time, Bunny's the one who's really taken this fight into his own hands. Broodlord's going down, and suddenly it's Elazer. He's having to rebuild heavily after a fight which has not gone his way. Still pushing forwards. The fours will give chase as well as the Vikings. He really wants to get these rid of these Broodlords up in the sky right here. And here we go. We see the Vikings picking off one of the Broods. Another of the Broods going to go down in a moment or so. So Broods continue to be picked off. I mean, actually, there's enough Vikings here because these Crooks are going down very quickly. I mean, the Broodlords will be scary momentarily, but again, they're going to start getting shut down and getting hit by these fours. The splash damage is bringing them low. And now they're going to get cleaned on now. Bunny is still pushing forwards, picking off a lot of these tech-heavy units, expensive units being killed off from Elazer. As Bunny is going to pick off this hatchery, and, well, this game is taking that turn. You know, but Elazer's been throwing everything he has at Bunny again and again and again, but Bunny's just about held off. And after one, you know, a bit of a better fight here, and Bunny's able to push across the map. He gets some damage to himself. A little bit of a roach run by doing some damage over to this third base. We see the space up to the top side has been denied by a few roaches as well. And now we're going to see the roach repaired with Remax. This is a little bit of a scarier thing, because maybe this is the thing that Bunny doesn't have enough to deal with, and from that great counterattack he just hasn't had, I guess, the economy to rebuild himself back at home, so he doesn't have very much here, and a bit of a flank that's created from the run-by units, joining up with reinforcements, really helps him clean out these tanks quickly. Now SCVs are pulling in, the 4 is going to go down, GG will be called, and Elazer will move through to the qualifying round, where he will play Cyril for a spot at IEM Katowice in this